Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has become the fastest selling Mario Kart game in the franchise's history, but because I have the original WiiU version, there hasn't been anything added to make Deluxe worthwhile getting. My flatmate and I play Mario Kart 8 quite regularly, but neither of us are that fussed about battle mode, so we stick with the main races. Even though the game clearly hates us, we come back to it week after week, so I'm going to count down my top 5 loved and hated tracks. This is pretty much just a case of how much I enjoy the tracks, so if a game loads a track and I think, yay, this one, it'll probably be on the loved list, whereas the ones that make me go, oh god, this one, for whatever reason, will end up on the hated list. Every track in Mario Kart 8 is legible for this list, so all tracks that originated in a previous Mario Kart game, as well as all the DLC tracks, are legible. As always, this is my opinion, yours might be different, I'll alternate between loved and hated, blah 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 blah, start your engines.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Mount Wario. Mount Wario was the first stage, that I know of anyway, where you don't do laps but it's one long course broken into 3 sections, and it's great fun. You're essentially driving down a mountain, but there are rivers, forests, slaloms, ice patches and other obstacles, so the areas you drive through are very different, which keeps things entertaining. You can see the finish line long before you get there, which makes the final stages of the race rather intense, as you hope nothing comes along and ruins everything.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Mario Kart Circuit GBA Remake. There weren't many tracks I really didn't like, so this one and the next one are more ones I don't mind, but if they appear I want to get them out of the way as quickly as possible to do some of the more interesting and fun courses. With this stage, it's one of the very early tracks, so it can be forgiven for being a bit basic and no frills, but once you've experienced the later more interesting courses, this is one I just want to get out of the way. I always forget about the last section of the track where the oil spills are, which just goes to show how forgettable this course is.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Dry Bone Dunes. With this track, it's mainly the theme tune that I like, as it always sounds as though it could be used in a Latino dance performance, but it works really well with the track. It's in a desert and it's a fairly difficult track to get around due to all the tight turns, obstacles and piranha plants, but it's still a fun track. There are a few places where the track splits, so you can find which route works best for you and stick with it. Just make sure that when you get to the sand circle near the start, you don't get confused and end up doing a full lap around it before following the course off to the side. Someone did that once and it was hilarious.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Donut Plains 3. Again, I don't dislike it, but it's still a case of wanting to get it over and done with as quickly as possible to get on with the more interesting tracks, so I won't spend too long talking about it. It has a few sharp turns and obstacles, plus it's got a pretty good shortcut if you're lucky enough to get a mushroom to take it, but it's not enough to make this a fun course.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Baby Park. Baby Park was one of my favourite courses in Double Dash, so I was thrilled when it turns out the track was being remade for Mario Kart 8. It's not exactly the same as it was, but it's still insane. I'll always remember my flatmate's reaction to the course when he said, "Oh, it's just a short circuit, how boring," and then him eating his words when he got really confused and found it to be one of the craziest tracks in the game, and that's what makes it so good. You do 7 laps of a short circuit, so the place gets littered with bananas, shells and other racers, so you have no idea who's in what position and what's going on. It all makes one crazy track with an amazing crazy tune that only adds to the insanity.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Melody Motorway. I really don't know why I don't like this track. Technically it's fine, a few turns, a few obstacles, an alright soundtrack, so it should have everything a track needs to at least be passable, but for some reason, every time this track appears, I groan. There are a few areas where you drive over a xylophone or some other type instrument, but if you accidentally go onto some of the raised keys, it throws you all over the place and there's very little you can do to stop it, and it gets really annoying. Other than that, there's nothing inherently wrong with this stage, but for some strange reason, if we can do a 32 track game and this one doesn't appear, I'd be very happy about it.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Grumble Volcano. I didn't own Mario Kart Wii, so I only got to play it on the odd occasion with friends, but knew of Grumble Volcano mainly due to a certain glitch. The Mario Kart 8 version is a lot of fun. It's a good track at the start, but gradually parts of the volcano start to crumble away, so the track becomes much narrower and there are more places you can fall off. Plus, the volcano nearby starts to erupt, causing fire on the course, as well as those jumping fireballs, giving you a lot to have to think about and avoid. Plus, it has one of the most intense themes that fits perfectly with the chaotic course, and it adds to the tension. I thoroughly enjoy this track every time it appears.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Toad's Turnpike. Many moons ago, when this track was in Mario Kart 64, I remember it being a decent fun stage, but for some strange reason on Mario Kart 8 it's really dull. There's traffic on the road, so there are things to avoid, but the road is so wide and normally there's so little traffic you don't need to worry. If they had it so it was only 2 lanes all the way round, it would be great, but having 3 lanes makes it really easy to avoid everything, so it becomes dull. My flatmate said he used to quite like this level, but now he finds it boring. I found it boring right from the first time I played Mario Kart 8. It's a good stage in theory, but the execution was very poor, so it wouldn't be difficult to make it a good stage, but as it is, it's mostly boring. Before revealing who gets the Gold Cup, here are some honourable mentions.
Start your engines! Let's go!
Wario's Gold Mine. Another Wii port, and this track is so much fun. It always reminds me of a roller coaster, and I love roller coasters. Right at the start of the track there's a dip where you get a speed boost, sending you down and back up just like a roller coaster, and with all the trams on the course there's regularly something to watch out for. It's also got an awesome theme tune that at one point sounds like ducks quacking, and another part that sounds like diddly yum diddly eye. Everything about this track seems to have the word fun in mind, and it's always a joy to race through. Even the pattern at the starting line looks like Battenberg cake, and I love a bit of Battenberg. Granted, that's probably just a coincidence, but hell, it just makes the level all the more awesome. These aren't really dishonourable mentions, but here are some others I don't really mind, but I'm not especially keen on.
Start your engines. Let's go.
Excitebike. This stage sucks. It's the most boring racetrack ever. I know it slightly changes where the ramps are each time the game loads this track, but I didn't notice that was the case. Someone said it, I thought they were wrong, looked it up, and it turned out they were right. Even so, it's just dull. At least Toad's Turnpike has other vehicles to avoid every now and then, which makes it slightly more interesting, but with Excitebike, there are a few muddy spaces, but that's it in terms of obstacles. The track is just a larger version of Baby Park, so it's just long straight lines, so there's nothing exciting about it whatsoever, which is really ironic considering the name. When this track appears when my flatmate and I play it, we tend to chat about films we've recently seen, other games we've been playing, or anything else to make the time during this track more entertaining, so when you have to find a way to entertain yourself while playing a game, something has gone very wrong. So there we have my top 5 loved and hated tracks in Mario Kart 8. Let me know what you thought as well as your own loved and hated tracks. You can follow me on Twitter at HyRulesDefender for updates on future videos and other random things I decide to tweet, as well as get in touch if you have any suggestions for future videos. So until then, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.